Andy knows, a post-millennial reporter. Andy, no one understands the dark underbelly of some of these dastardly left-wing hate groups than you. What can you tell us about how they run and what needs to be done?
What needs to be done is their propaganda and lies has to be exposed. I hope that it's been eye-opening for the public to see the bloodlust that exists, not just on the fringe left, obviously, but also on the mainstream left in the aftermath of this assassination. It is a cancer that exists on the left, and it's mainstream, and there's some data to back that up. Just overnight, a mural for Charlie Kirk in Pensacola, Florida, was vandalized with Antifa propaganda on it, and some of the messages that left on it were the exact messages from what was engraved on the rifle cartridges that were used in the attack. So this is the mindset we're dealing with. It is, I will call it a death culture. They worship death, they want their targets killed, and they've been supported by a huge apparatus. I'm not just talking about the Black Bloc militants who are on the streets acting as thugs, carrying out arson attacks and assaulting people. I'm talking about politicians who spread their propaganda and lies, NGOs, nonprofit groups, elected officials, and many in the Democrat Party, and of course many journalists. We've seen many disgusting lies spread in the last few days in liberal media suggesting somehow that this accused gunman was a far-right Christian nationalist inspired by MAGA.
Yeah, there's a big disinformation campaign underway by the legacy media to both sides of the issue and raise questions about this assassin's left-wing credentials. But we've exposed it and debunked it, and no one's paying attention to these people anymore. The trans movement, that movement, some of it has gone underground and has become fiercely militaristic. What needs to be done there? What can you tell us about that?
So I saw this 5 years ago in Portland when a disproportionate number of the Antifa riot arrestees were somehow so-called gender diverse, trans or non-binary, something like that. And they don't hide their extremism. If you go to any of their rallies, you look at the activist groups and the type of placards and signs and chants that they say, they threaten to kill people if their agenda is not followed through. And they have this perception, and they say it, that there's a trans genocide going on. So when you have this lie that's been mainstreamed by trans activists, coupled with the fact that there is a disproportionate amount of mental health comorbidities, and many of them are sociopathic, you have this explosive situation potentially of like what happened here, and unfortunately has happened other times in recent years.
Yeah, probably not a good idea to tell isolated and mentally ill people that a genocide is on the horizon. Probably not a safe move to make. Andy, thank you so much for all of your insight and reporting. Keep up the great work.
My pleasure.